This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the Predator prequel movie, Prey, on Hulu. Plus, what the hell is happening over at Warner Brothers / Discovery, and how will it impact the future of the DC Universe on the big screen? All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, August 8th, 2022.
This is Jason Mewes, and for reasons best left between you and your therapist, you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Snooch to the nooch. Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, listener. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV, and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, the only thing that Warner Brothers Discovery can't cancel, and that is the force of one Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
They don't pay me anything, so I'm not going to lose anything.
It would be easy to pull the plug.
Yeah, Zazlav, suck it.
Yeah, come get it, Zazlav. Oh, we will get into that. Anthony, how you feeling? I want you to share your sexy, kind of sick voice with the listener right here.
I felt better. No COVID. Just I guess just some sort of cold thing. I've tested twice. Don't have the Rona apparently, but just a little.
Did you ever
get
get
under the weather? I've never tested positive for it. Let me say that.
Oh.
Wait, okay. What does that mean? I mean, you never got it. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I maybe have had it. I just didn't know about it. But
I think I've always had it.
Yeah, you were born with it.
Yeah. I think
Somehow,
I'm zero.
I've avoided it. My sister and my mom got it. Luckily, my mom had no symptoms, which is the craziest thing because she has every other symptom. But she's fine, and I'm the last one in my immediate family. So now that I said that, I've probably jinxed myself. Yay.
Probably.
Yes. All right.
You probably got something on.
We got one big news thing to talk about and an awesome movie to review. Let's get to it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Now, if you follow any kind of superhero, TV, movie, entertainment, industry news at all, I'm sure you know by now that Warner Brothers had a fucking batshit crazy week, pun intended. Here's the big bullet points. I'm just going to break down, and then we're going to go back and discuss each of these things that happened. A week from when we were recording, in fact, between recording and putting out last week's show, Warner Brothers CEO, new Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, David Zazlav, cancels Batgirl, shelves it.
Oh, shit.
Out of nowhere, the New York Post leaks this story and sends waves throughout the entertainment industry, right? Into the lead up, they were doing a earnings meeting, quarterly earnings meeting. Warner Brothers was on Thursday of last week. Leading up to that, a lot of things getting removed from HBO Max, a lot of rumors at the quarterly meeting. Zaslav announces that he has a 10-year plan for DC movies,
oh shit,
and that they are planning to merge HBO Max and Discovery Plus next summer of 2023. Kind of the big overall bullet points, but holy shit, we got to break all of these down. Let's start with the Batgirl cancellation, which apparently all the talent, the crew, everybody involved caught him off guard. This New York Post article is where the first time they even heard about it. The article initially saying test screenings were abysmal, that the studio thinks the movie was irredeemable. And then this movie, they were saying estimated $70 to $90 million budget, just flushing it down the drain, $90 million kind of. The movie was not completed, but pretty far along production, almost done. Then, after the test screenings were bad story, we hear that actually the real reason is that David Zazlav decided that the most economical thing to do with the movie was to take a tax write-off on it. Another
oh shit.
Meaning this movie can never be monetized. They can't sell it. They can't put it out anywhere if they take down the write-off. There was another Scooby-Doo original movie also shelved with Batgirl. Now, let's start there. First reactions, Anthony, when you heard all this shit going down, what are some other details you heard? What do you think of just the Batgirl cancellation?
It's good that it was like it's been a week because my initial reaction was, oh my God, DC, what is going on over there? And to some extent, that's still the case, right? I think Zazlav is trying to put his stamp on things. The more I've done some research and looked into it, I don't know like if there was a great move, but it sounds like this was the best move in terms of making them money. Apparently the screening was shit. Apparently the best thing I watched Campia, and he said he did some research and pointed out like the most positive thing that came out in the press was someone saying it's not as bad as you think, which is not a great glowing assessment. This was made under the old regime, which was really pushing HBO Max and deciding to put stuff on HBO Max, stuff released for HBO Max, and then some on theater. Zaslav doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
It sounds like the movie was shit. If they put it on HBO Max, it wasn't really going to further the brand. It might have even hurt the DC brand. And it wasn't like anyone was going to subscribe to HBO Max because this was going on HBO Max. And if he put it in theaters, he felt like it, by including the marketing, that this movie wouldn't have made any money. So this was the best option. So upon all that information, I think, having obviously not seen the movie, I think this was the best move. Unfortunately for the actors and the cast and everyone that put time into it.
But and it
was the best move.
They all got paid, right? They made the thing. They did get a paycheck, but is it so I'm so torn about this. Ruggs, what do you think? Is this actual somebody providing some quality control over DC movies? Was it that bad that he's like, this is gonna hurt our brand? The other side is it's a little bit of bad optics to cancel like a Latina-led Batgirl movie directed by Bilal and Adil, right? These guys who did Bad Boys and Miss Marvel. The diversity behind the screen, in front of the screen. That's a bad look. But if it's a shit product, you don't want to hurt the brand.
I don't think it's a shit product.
How bad could it have been?
I don't think that, it could be Morbius bad. It still, would make money. Morbius made some money, I think the budget for Batgirl wasn't that high. I think that this is an opportunity for them to clean the slate, though. I think that this is an opportunity. They see that Marvel is kind of like losing steam. They see that like Thor Love and Thunder was kind of people were not too hot on it. And they see that like the future of the Marvel universe is very kind of questionable, even though they put all this stuff out there like Wakanda Forever and this and that. They're like this is kind of they're not seeing this Avengers plan,
right?
That they had, this Endgame plan. So they're like, let's take this opportunity, within the next 10 years, to kind of take the market back, because Marvel's kind of petering out a little bit, or they're still in their restructuring phase or whatever. So they're like, let's wipe the slate clean of all the dead weight, anything that we have that's questionable, anything that's going to let's just start over, and let's this time let's focus. And so they threw Batgirl because they had a Batgirl and Michael Keaton thing that they were trying to set up. And I think Flash was supposed to be coming out before the orders were messed up.
Yeah, all the orders have been switched. Yeah.
So basically they were they figured they had to do something drastic, and they did. I don't know if this is what I would have done, but they're writing it off. So I guess that means that they're guaranteed a certain amount of money.
Apparently $15-20 million.
I think they get 20. Yeah. They get back to 20 million in tax. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not an accountant, but yeah, 20 million, which they figure if they put it on in theater, they might not even have made that.
Sure.
See, it would be interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall, because there's two ways to look at it, right? Which is, you have this kind of thing that Marvel's been doing and a lot of people have been doing, which is trying to refresh or make all of these characters that were popular in the 1960s, trying to make them relevant. And they do it, and they try, they switch things around, they do new things, and they're like, well, we tried all that, and that seems to work with limited capacity. But you know what? No one's really actually doing ripped from the comic books, right from the page of the comics, trying to do that. Maybe Zaslav was like, that's what we should do. I don't know. The problem is that he has this 10-year plan to make this big thing, but he doesn't have Kevin Feige to do it.
Well, we'll get into the 10-year plan. It's also like, I'm wondering how many people outside, if you don't follow this, like how many people even knew that there was a Batgirl movie coming out, right? It's
not too many, probably.
Right, but it's still kind of a weird, slightly unprecedented to kill a movie this far.
Apparently, Keaton was only in like 5 scenes.
Yeah, so this one guy who's pretty reliable says, at viewer Anon, Michael Keaton only had 5 scenes in Batgirl. He didn't train Barbara. She just dressed up as Batman for a Halloween party, stopped some terrorists, and tweaked the costume to be a superhero. He meets Barbara twice. So there was just a few scenes. It's funny, though. Keaton was going to be Batman in 3 movies, and now that it's just 1 movie left because they're reshooting his Aquaman scenes.
If that's the origin for Batgirl, that sounds pretty shitty.
Yeah, but here's the thing. These guys, like $90 million, a lot of money. These directors did a good job. They refreshed the Bad Boys franchise. Apparently that movie was good. Made a lot of money. Like how it had to be better than like a CW show. I've read
apparently the reviews are like it's unwatchable.
So I've read competing things. One review compares it to a TV pilot and X-Men Dark Phoenix. That is not good, right? But it was their first test screening. A lot of the visuals weren't put in, and it received similar scores to the first test screenings of Shazam, the Shazam sequel, Black Adam, and It that came out and was huge. So I don't think the movie was dog shit. It might have been. I'm kind of curious. Somebody get a bootleg. I don't know how you can leak this thing.
We'll see it at some point.
I want to see what was in this movie.
Well, I think. So getting to this 10-year plan that you were talking about, where Zaslav is basically saying he has a 10-year plan. He wants to hire a Feige. He likes what Marvel's done and wants to do something with DC. And he's basically said that DC is their most valuable property, and they have to be better with the brand. So I think getting into Batgirl, what I think is happening here is, one, this is a new guy. He wants to put his stamp on it, and I think if you take him at his word, he doesn't want to release stuff on HBO Max, like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was the old strategy.
So that's the old strategy. Yeah. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to make he wants these to be epic movies. Okay, so that takes it off. Also, he's basically said we're not going to focus on release dates. So we're going to wait. If the movie needs more work, we're going to wait, and we're going to push things back. And you notice they've done that with The Flash. They've done that with Black Adam. They've done that with Shazam. They've done that with Aquaman. They've pushed shit back from when it was originally supposed to be scheduled, which I think is a good move. If you don't have it right, push it back. And I think when he looked at Batgirl, he's like, there's no point in pushing this back. It's already out of what my plan is for putting this stuff in theaters. If that's the case, I like that approach rather than like where Marvel does it and they put, here are the dates, and we're speeding toward the dates. So if DC wants to go, hey, we've got dates, but if it sucks or if we need more work, we'll push it back. I think that might be a good approach.
I mean, these are all good things. In the meeting, he even took a jab at, like, he stepped into a fucking shit show, right? We've been talking for years that Warner Brothers, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, they by doing what they did was it 2 years ago or a year ago, by releasing everything day and date on
they lost
HBO
so
Max
much
and
money.
not telling anybody.
Yeah.
They ruined a ton of goodwill with a lot of the studios, and they had to pay out the ass.
Yeah.
To make good on a lot of this stuff with the actors and studio
Christopher
and
Nolan
directors.
walks away. They lose Nolan, right? Over all of this.
That gets to WB having a real bad credibility problem with the market right now.
Warner Brothers used to be like the director's studio, too, at one point. So what are you saying? Look, these are a lot of good decisions. This guy, he's got the balls potentially to come in.
But they're also like burning a lot of bridges at the same time.
Yes.
Because they're like fucking kiboshing all these projects, and all these people worked and did, their shit's not coming out.
Well, the things they kiboshed, let's be frank.
Yeah.
It's Batgirl.
Yeah.
It's a Scooby-Doo sequel.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a Wonder Twins movie from DC.
Which is why are you making a Wonder Twins movie? What are you doing?
Like, come on. No one's really that
what about
sad
all the TV shows
stuff.
and stuff that they canceled?
They killed a lot of CW shows, but no
anything
shows.
that was in development anything that was in development
Yeah.
got canceled. That wasn't according to
those
plan.
CW shows are kind of a running joke.
Right.
The Flash is ending on its 9th season, and this movie still hasn't come out. He has to cut $3 billion from spending. This is his job.
As much as we like have kind of not liked some of the Marvel stuff, there's a clear difference in quality between that and like throwing on the Flash at this point on CW.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be like, I agree. I don't know if this guy has what it takes, but I agree. Like you can't just like it seemed like DC's model was just green light everything with no like quality control for like what it should look like. Like every guy had a different way it should look, and CW was clearly like we have this look that like looks super cheap, but we've been doing it for 10 years. And then you look at the movies and it looks completely different. I think like quality control and hiring what you like you said, Ruggs, hiring somebody, I think that is the right approach. I don't know if this guy's the guy to do it, but as Campia said on his show, which kind of changed my mind, he's like, this is kind of real leadership. You make tough decisions like this.
Well, they're rudderless because what happened was they got rid of Snyder, who was their FIE, and they had David Goyer, who was their like kind of like quality control,
right?
Kind of buck stops here, executive producer kind of guy. And both of those guys are not there. So they have nothing. They need somebody, but who are they going to get? That's the important question.
Walter Hamada almost fucking quit, was the other story that came out. So, look, Zaslav's saying all the right things. He's saying DC is something we can make better. He's committed to the theatrical model. Here's his quote, is what he said. He said, you look at Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. These are brands that are known everywhere in the world. We have done a reset. We've restructured the business where we are going to focus, where there is going to be a team with a 10-year plan. We believe we can build a much more sustainable business. He's also been consulting Alan Horn, who set up the structure with Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, put together the Marvel structure over there.
Oh, wow. He's consulting.
He's talking to Alan Horn in a consult. So clearly this is like the third or fourth time Warner Brothers has tried to do this. I think they need to scrap everything after the movies that are coming out and start over. And maybe you start with those four: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Start with Superman.
Apparently, I think that's why Flashpoint has to come out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
I
the
think Flashpoint is going to be. Yep.
And he's also said he's seen Flash, Black Adam, and Shazam, and they are good, and they will be coming out. He didn't mention Aquaman 2. I don't know if they just weren't ready or they haven't shown him anything. Apparently, they've talked to Henry Cavill, and Cavill is not interested.
Well, did you see the rumor? Not to take this towards Marvel.
Yeah,
there's a rumor out that Cavill might be in the running for Mr. Fantastic.
Oh shit! Oh, I can see that, and he's probably like he's been waiting years for like another Superman, right? And I was like, fuck these people.
If you look at it, he might be like, fuck you, DC. You threw me under the bus, and I played a perfectly fine Clark Kent.
He loved playing Superman. He was a dream role, and they fucked it all up. And it's been so long. I wouldn't be mad at him. He was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going over here. As Reed Richards, did you say?
That's the rumor I saw.
That's a Jack Reed Richards.
That's terrible.
Also, Idris Elba says he's working on something really big at DC, and Gal Gadot expected to appear as Wonder Woman in lots of things. So if they can focus, here's the other thing though. In the meantime, where they canceled, a Latina lead and diverse cast, the fucking Ezra Miller. Here's two headlines from yesterday and today. Earlier this week, Flash star Ezra Miller now accused of running a cult and grooming minors. And then literally from today, the Flash star Ezra Miller charged with felony burglary in Vermont. Apparently they stole some alcohol from somebody's house.
Well, let me be Ezra Miller's defense. Minors get very dirty down there and they need to be groomed.
Well, when you're grooming minors, you need some alcohol. So they don't get infected.
They're in a tunnel. They're covered in soot. You gotta fucking clean them.
So what are the optics of that? But I think they're stuck in a hard position. They got to put the Flash out so they can. And how many Batmans are you going to have? Like, you got to fucking pull all this shit together.
Well, look, they're like trying to avoid this shit like the plague, like this stuff getting worse. But I think that Zaslav sees this movie as a reset button, and he's like, we can't cancel. This is our opportunity to like put a button on everything that we did and start over it. So they're like, for some reason, weathering this storm with Ezra Miller, like, I don't understand.
It's worth it. I mean, it's a lot more money too. They already spent, Batgirl $90 million versus like $200 million down the drain.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that has to be the reason, because there's no other reason why to cling to Ezra Miller.
That's Zaslav's next goal is like we have to get past Ezra Miller, because you could be damn sure he's not going to be the Flash anymore.
No.
Yeah,
once this movie
you
comes
can't.
out.
That's just like there's no amount of planning, there's no playbook on something like this.
Yeah,
where
right. Yes.
you have a movie where he's the lead,
Yeah.
and this movie is potentially very important to what your big plans are.
Yeah.
And your lead is just all over the place.
You don't teach that in movie executive school.
There's nothing like it's bad luck.
What if this is all like something that was engineered by Marvel to fuck with DC? Imagine.
They're paying Ezra
like-
to just be crazy.
They're just
Or they knew a guy that knew a guy, and they're like, "This is how you set off Ezra."
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like,
Oh my god, that is some spy shit right there.
we're
That
gonna
would be
gaslight him.
diabolical.
Or them. Or yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this: Zaslav's choices. From what I'm hearing, what do you guys think of his decision so far? He's said the right things. He wants to make better movies.
I don't know.
"Yeah,
Right? It's hard to tell.
It's tough to say anything's right now." But I think I've been swayed by Campia in that at least he's moving in a direction.
Yeah.
He's going, "This is what we're
It's a
doing."
direction.
He's not just right. Well, other than just being like, well, the old regime had these movies. I don't really like them, but I still should release them. He's like, no, fuck that. I'm taking my dick out, and we're fucking taking this movie, and we're putting it on the chopping room floor, and we're pushing everything back, and this is how it's gonna be. So
It is kind of like a very divisive move. You're really putting your dick out there.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
really slapping people in the face with it.
he is. He's hitting you in with it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, here's my-
multiple times.
Yeah. Smack, smack, smack. Here's the new direction. Look, Blue Beetle, after those 4 movies, Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, and The Flash, Blue
Beetle's
Beetle.
not going to happen.
Well, it still has a date, and I've heard that it's actually, they're going to keep that because they can't
Really?
cancel 2 movies with Latino stars. That would look really bad.
Yeah.
It already looks bad.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see where that angle is. I don't think he's doing it because they're Latino. I think it's just
Right. It's
What
not-
if he is racist?
He could
if
be,
we get
we
a
don't
better
know.
product. No, I'm just kidding.
And then
I'm just
they
kidding.
finally announced the date for the Joker sequel, Folie à Deux, with Lady Gaga apparently playing Harley Quinn, October 4th, 2024. They
I
actually
think they
gave
should
it a
cancel
date.
that. I think Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn is a bad idea.
And it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of musical elements. Apparently a lot of it will take place in Arkham, and the music stuff is like in Joker's head, right? So that kind of makes
Wow.
sense. But what do you do? Do you go back to doing these one-off solid movies and then make another Justice League in like 5 years?
I don't know.
What would you do if you were David Zaslav and you want to fix
Well,
the
look,
DC?
let's talk about this. We don't have a consistent Batman,
Right.
right?
Who's Batman?
So let's just analyze this. Wonder Woman's covered.
Yep.
All right. She has an origin movie. Okay. She had a second movie that was bad, but it was still a second movie that kind of developed the character. Aquaman had an origin movie.
Yep.
He was in the Justice League, but Ben Affleck, Batman, never had really an origin movie or his own movie. It was like a Batman versus Superman, giant. It wasn't like really a Batman film
Right.
with Batman's rogues gallery and any of that. It was all tied to Superman. And then Superman, they fucking pulled the rug out from under them. So they've never done justice to those 2 characters, which are the tent poles. Wonder
Exactly.
Woman, they have.
Yeah.
But Batman and Superman, they haven't given you a legit Superman. They haven't given you a legit Batman.
So
movie.
would you move forward with the Pattinson Batman and a new Superman reset and then throw all them together?
If you can do it in Flashpoint, right, and reset everything, and then at least you can kind of go, we're going to keep these and we're going to get rid of those, and in this universe, Batman is this. Or, I don't know. You can do it, but I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't gel together.
And then like the Joker movie is in its own thing and this Batman is its own universe.
Yeah, they're not gelling.
No. So it's
Unless they pull we've seen this before with the Spider-Man movie. You just fucking have cameos and everybody just starts jerking off, So imagine at the end of Flashpoint, all of these people come into appear from a fucking warp or whatever, and they're all in the same room, and you're like, okay, I guess this is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's weird is we heard from was it Hold Hamada before that they were like, we'll just make everything. We don't care. We'll just
go play in your sandbox. How did that work?
Yeah,
out?
no, it was like, we'll let directors do what they want. There can be multiple versions of the Batman. There can be multiple versions of this and that. And now it's like, No, that's a bad idea. We're confusing our fans. We should probably try to streamline this a little
He's
more.
literally like, we're just gonna do what Marvel did, right? When I'm like, you've been wasting so much time and money for 10 years already.
What's the problem too is they can do with what they can try to do what Marvel did, and I think there's merit to doing that. DC is an underutilized property. They should be making money hand over fist. These are gigantic characters.
Yes.
But to do the Marvel thing now, it might work, but also by the time they get their shit together, maybe we're like tired of superheroes.
Yeah, it's too little too late at this point.
Like I feel like when I'm at like a movie theater with a casual fan and they see a DC trailer, the first thing they think is that Marvel? And then I tell them no, and they're like, oh, okay,
that's
well,
rough.
then I'm not going to watch that. Yeah.
And like whatever they had planned, there's really nothing I'm like super excited for coming out for DC movies from Warner Brothers, right? Even the stuff they were planning, which is a shit ton. So they need to get people excited again. I mean, do you do a Green Lantern movie? Do you throw him in? And once you've established like there's nothing that's being built towards. Like we complained about this with Marvel until they announced Kang, Dynasty, and Secret Wars, but you know, what we've been seeing with Marvel in Phase 4 has been what DC's been for 5 to 6 years. No, it's like Marvel's like, here's 37 things we're releasing, and DC's
nothing's connected. And DC's been like, oh, we've been doing that for a while.
And they're like, oh,
it's really worked out for us.
We're actually going to be canceling things. We're just going to, like, you've noticed they didn't mention anything about Batgirl at San Diego Comic-Con. I found that very weird, and now we know why. They were probably already thinking about this. So, and then, the whole thing, these merging HBO Max and Discovery Plus, we don't know what the pricing is. Get ready for Chip and Joanna Gaines to join your HBO Max stream.
Did you see that graphic that they put up about
tell me
HBO
about
Max
this.
being male-leaning?
Yes.
And then Discovery being female-leaning?
Like, I don't know why they would put this out publicly or even use it to explain. Like, it was very
but that, like, that kind of shows you where Zazlav is thinking. He's like, if he thinks that DC is let's do like this leap in logic here. If Zaslav thinks that DC is the prime, like, real estate that they own, that WB owns, right?
Yeah.
And HBO and all that stuff is all related to that. And he says, okay, well, HBO WB, where that lives, is male skewed.
This is for boys and this is for girls, is basically what he said.
There might be a kind of an archaic thinking behind that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or
I'm looking at the
traditional, which is the softer word.
Yeah.
But
read that graphic, Anthony. What does it say?
So I guess this was presented to
during the earnings call. Probably.
Okay. Yeah. So HBO Max, male skew, scripted, lean in, appointment viewing, home of fandoms.
Yeah.
Discovery Plus, female skew, unscripted, lean back, comfort viewing, home of genre dumbs.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean,
how he sees this.
I think you can think that. I don't know if you would want to put that out.
I know. That's what I was like, why would you actually
it's
let that
probably
come out?
true. But
right.
Yes,
like
it's true,
I see the thought process behind it. I just don't. That's a bad PR move to have that ever come out.
This is like what you do up in the
but this
offices.
guy doesn't give a shit about PR.
No, clearly not.
Apparently not. So here's my only concern. Look, he's saying all the right things. We want these movies to be better. We're going to quality. We're not going to put out a movie before it's ready. However, he is also the bottom line guy. And this makes me worried for prestige content over at HBO, where they spend millions of dollars to make shit look good. And it does look good. I just hope that him putting Discovery in this doesn't hurt the quality of what they already have going, right?
Well, what I would say for that is, HBO is known for its prestige content, and it is one of the pillars for why you would subscribe to HBO Max. Yeah. So I think if he's smart, he'll know that if they're putting an HBO show up on HBO Max and it's great, that has always gotten people talking.
Don't fuck with it.
And that's always gotten people to subscribe to HBO back on cable. Like that's something that needs to still be a part of what his overall business plan.
We are on we could have another huge Game of Thrones era coming up with.
By the way,
House
can I
of the
take
Dragon.
a quick shot at you?
Yes, of course.
Remember when you said Batman was better than The Dark Knight?
Wait, which one?
You said the Batman.
Batman was better than the Dark. Did I say that?
You did.
Shit!
How is that holding up?
That hasn't aged well, has it? In the moment,
no one is talking about that.
In
movie.
the moment, right after seeing the movie, that's a good point.
You did say that. Whereas The Dark Knight's been talked about, it's still being talked about to this day.
That's a good point. You know what? It was the heat of the moment. I was still enamored with this. I haven't rewatched it either.
recency bias is a real
It's a
thing.
thing.
Yeah, I know. You probably haven't even
No, I
watched
haven't because it's really long. I haven't watched
Really
it
long
again.
and almost
Recency
unwatchable.
bias. I never heard that.
Yeah, because it was hot. You just watch it. You're like, this is great, and then
It's good.
That is
It's
a
just
good-
it's not an all time.
that is a good point you make, though. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I'm sure maybe you got some fans that disagree with me. I don't think that movie's clearly it hasn't. It's not an all time movie. It's not something that's going to.
I gotta watch it again. I mean,
It's a good movie.
So I think the things that are safe apparently are like another season of Peacemaker. I think they're still going to do this Penguin show.
What about like I'm pretty sure all those like home renovation shows on Discovery will be safe, right?
Yeah, and they're going to get pulled over. They do have to lay off a lot of people because there's a lot of redundancies. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more shit going on as David Zazlav makes these moves. It's going to be interesting. I just hope they give us something that's exciting.
Yeah. One thing we got to remember is this is a fucking monumental merger. There are a lot of redundancies. You have these two before it was AT&T taking over.
Yep.
You know, they had no skin in the game.
Yeah.
But this is a company that already has programming, has like their own version of shows that that they might have two of the same show on or all. So they're getting rid of stuff. Heads will roll, basically. People are going to get affected by this. There's no getting around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to. And who are they going to
Anytime
get?
companies merge.
And he's also like, he's separated DC films into its own division. Who are they going to get?
Which should have probably been done a while ago.
Absolutely. That's
I
how
heard Campia like throw some names around, and I was like, okay.
like your James Wan or who's the other one? I don't think you should give it to a director, right? That's the point they kept coming
You
back
want a producer, and I
Yes.
think I know the guy. He was on.
Yeah.
He was on your show, on this show.
He was.
Whoa.
Yeah, Greg Weisman.
Oh, Greg Wiseman is a great producer, and he's not
Because
a
he
director.
did all
he's a
of the
writer.
DC. He did DC stuff.
Young Justice.
He does Marvel stuff. He knows about.
Gargoyles. Yes.
He knows about comic books, and he makes good like that Spectacular Spider-Man show. Still
Yes.
better than most of the Spider-Man shows that Marvel.
That's
put
a
out.
good fucking pick.
That's a good pick.
That's a
actually.
good
That's
fucking
like-
pick.
and what
That's like if you took the Filoni, Filoni fellatio, like now he's in charge of Star Wars now.
I like the Wiseman pick because also I haven't seen the third season of Young Justice. Apparently not as good, but he did that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those first two seasons were like comic book accurate, but yet also had a kind of a fresh spin on everything that it made everything feel new by focusing on the kids and having it come from their perspective. Like that show felt very fresh in a market that, is 100 years old.
Yeah, it's very good. The first
I
two
feel like
seasons are
looking
great.
for a name that like sounds like important is stupid. Look for somebody that has been doing shit. Like I would even take the guy who's in charge of who's the head of the DC animation and promote that guy to like feature films.
Yeah. There's like Jay Olivia over there, and they don't need a filmmaker, they need a producer.
They need somebody who
Right.
knows the material and how it should feel.
And who loves it.
That's it.
Like Feige was producing comic book movies way before the MCU, and that's where he cut his teeth for a long time.
What if they got Bruce Timm and Paul Dini?
That would be.
Oh my
that
God,
would
that's a
be
great
good.
drop right there.
That would be good too.
Perfect.
I like that.
I just looked up how old Bruce Timm is, and he's 61. So I was like,
that's
still good enough.
He's still in the game. That's enough. No, I like Greg Wiseman. I like those two. These are the kind of people they should be looking at to do this. Whether
I
they
wonder how often you see an animated guy get a job like that with the live action.
Yeah.
Well, Filoni
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
now
that's true.
doing.
that's
I
true.
mean-
Yeah, Filoni, you're right.
Yeah, he was doing all the animated shows, and he finally got a shot. And now, like, we're talking about the Filoni verse.
Right.
like
So,
remember Jeff Johns had the gig for a while, and you thought that would have worked out.
I don't think that worked
Doesn't
out.
work
I don't
out
think.
very
I don't think
well,
he
no.
worked out very
No,
well.
like-
That's different,
It's different
though, right?
skills.
Like Jeff Johns was doing comics and came over.
Yeah, it's different.
You've got these guys that Ruggs mentioned that have created like live stuff.
Yeah.
and have a different. I think it's just a different creativity that you need to have by doing with the experience they have versus writing on a page.
you just take the Batman or the comic book characters that Greg Weisman has, or even like Bruce Timm or any of those guys. They feel like the character.
yeah,
Yeah,
They don't feel off. They
Right.
get it. You know what I mean? That's what's the most important thing. They have to get the character. And
yeah.
Zack Snyder doesn't really get them, you know. And who knows what they're going to do? They're probably going to pick some asshole that just has some like marquee value.
It's just the name.
Yeah, and then you know, the biggest name that I could think of, two biggest names that I could think of. One has a really bad black mark on his thing for John Carter, which is fuck. I just had his name on the top of my head. Andrew Stanton.
Okay.
And then Brad Bird.
Oh, Brad Bird would be an interesting pick too.
But they're both directors. They don't want to produce.
Right, they're directors. You want someone who's not a director.
Brad Bird is like the name that everyone wants to do Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that just seems like a lazy, because he did Incredibles, which is like,
I know, but I will give Brad Bird. I give Fantastic Four to Brad Bird live action. The Batgirl directors, give him fucking Avengers: Secret Wars. Just do it. Why not? You had Russo brothers doing those Avengers movies. You got these two, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. Did you know that one of them was getting married and they were at the wedding in Morocco when they found this out, like through the New York Post? I was like, that's a shitty way to find out.
Yeah,
but I thought they did a good job on Miss Marvel. And again, I'm like, how bad can this movie can't be that bad. Her suit did look a little, I don't know.
Looked a little CW.
It did look a little CW, and I even heard
think the more I think about Miss Marvel, is the less I like it.
Oh, fuck you! Come on,
show.
it's fine. It's a good storytelling. It's a good coming of age story.
you're now getting into identity politics with him.
Slash superhero ish.
That's a slight on his family if you say something like that.
Yeah, regardless, I don't give a fuck. It's like, if it's not good, it's
My
not good.
family survived
Whatever reason.
the partition for this. Anyways. Okay, last thing in the news before we take a break, I got to throw in as a story based on an 80s action movie icon that we love, that we've talked about, that was represented, made it far in the 80s tournament, and that is Roadhouse. Did you guys see this? They are doing a reboot to Roadhouse on Amazon Prime with Jake Gyllenhaal in the starring role as an ex-MMA fighter. And I also think, what's his name? Conor McGregor is going to be in the movie.
Yeah, it's been cast, yes.
Doug Liman will direct, who's a great director. He did
Doug Liman's a good fucking director.
Anthony, what do you think about Roadhouse? First of all, does it need to be rebooted? And then Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor.
Does it need to be rebooted? No.
Yeah.
Initial thought was, oh my God, this is not going to be good, right? Then you see Doug Liman gets attached. I'm like, what's Doug Liman doing with the fucking Roadhouse thing?
Swingers.
And Jake Gyllenhaal's a pretty good actor. Yeah. I think there's like a 15% chance that like they have enough fun with it, and they kind of know, like, there's been some stuff that they've put out there that was in the 80s or 90s. Yeah. You know, Cobra Kai. What's that fucking movie that we just watched that was a good spin-off of 80s shit? I forget off the top of my head. But then like these new age
The Gray Man you're talking about?
No. We reviewed it, I think, on the Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
Where like you take that's not necessarily a reboot, but still. You kind of take a concept that was from the 80s and you're just smart about it and you put some love and care into it and you make it now and it works. Most of the time it doesn't work, but I'm somewhat hopeful because, again, Doug Liman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and if you're going to put like a shitty bar somewhere, I can't think of another. There's a lot of shitty places in the world. The Florida Keys, I think, would be up there as far as like a shit bar.
I think that's any place in Florida. Really,
so the fact that's in Florida Keys has me 15% hopeful that this is going to be good.
I don't know, man. I really don't.
That means I don't think it's going to be good, but I'm just giving it a little hope.
Okay.
85%
Joel
not good.
Silver is back to producing.
Joel Silver, too. I forgot to mention that. Yes.
So, look, I thought of Top Gun Maverick. I was like, look, they pulled off a Top Gun Maverick. It can be done if you do it right.
The thing is, like, no one cares about a movie. Like, Roadhouse, the movie, as far as a concept,
right?
It's dead in the water. It's stupid in the water. It's a guy, a cooler, a bouncer, cleans up a bar that's like that's not what's good about Roadhouse.
Right.
All of the fucking ridiculous shit that goes on, that's what's good about it. The macho-ness, the fucking sex,
the throat ripping,
the fucking maniacal bad guy that's just beyond anything. Like,
I fucked guys like you in jail.
Dalton.
Yeah.
Be nice. Always be nice.
Yeah, just like weird, like, monologues
having
that they have.
Sex on the roof of a house while somebody watches from across the lake.
Of course.
All of these things that make the movie great.
All of those things are great. And
Tai Chi.
I don't see them doing any of that. I don't see them doing any of that. If you set it if you set it now, then you really can't do it. You could maybe get away with it if you set it in the 80s, like when Roadhouse takes place.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really would like to see I don't want to see another Roadhouse. I want to see another movie like Roadhouse, like in the same vein of Roadhouse. I don't need to see a movie about a bouncer, whatever.
It doesn't have to be exactly the same setup as well. Yeah, either. But
that's not what makes Roadhouse great.
Right.
I was thinking a long time ago, like if they remade Roadhouse, they would have to do it in Vegas because that's like a nightclub on steroids.
Yeah, it's like spirit.
Bigger, glitzier, even more crazy. You could have fucking machine guns in there if you want.
The spirit of Roadhouse.
It could get crazy, but this sounds just like kind of like weak sauce, like in the Florida Keys. It's like the Florida Keys are smaller than Manhattan. Like smaller than I don't even know. They're tiny.
Let me ask you this: what do you think though about Doug Liman jumping on?
Doug Liman's good. I feel
all of his movies are good.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with Doug Liman, but I don't think Doug Liman's going to make a Roadhouse movie. I think he's going to make a movie called Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Joel Silver though.
Joel Silver's the only thing. The only thing
he'll provide the cocaine.
But I think he stopped doing coke. He's probably 70 something.
That's the other thing. These guys are old. They cleaned up.
He's just slapping his name on it. He's probably urinating on himself right now. All right. But there's nothing wrong with it. But he's old.
Yeah.
Old. How old is Joel Silver?
He's
70 years old.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's definitely
he's pushing it, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely waiting about 20 minutes to pee. So I don't think it's the same guy who's snorting a rail of coke and fucking, spitballing while blow drying his hair.
It's
his pubes.
And they're calling it a reimagining, but part of me also would love if it was like a somebody who is related to Dalton, his aunt.
Well, they did make a sequel that went straight to video.
Oh, yeah, that's right, didn't it?
It was with Dalton's kid.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's Dalton's kid's kid or something. I don't know. Tie it back. Ignore that second one.
Now I gotta see that. Bad kid, that big.
I gotta see how bad that
2006 direct-to-video Roadhouse 2.
Who is the star?
There's nobody
movie?
recognizable in this movie, I believe. There's no name.
No, I don't recognize any of this. Jonathan Shake.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
Oh, so you would know. Yes. I don't know who the hell that is at all. He's the lead.
He's in every movie that comes out on HBO, that you never see.
He's the
theater.
son.
Yeah.
Roadhouse 2 Last Call. See, they tried to make it a thing again. Jonathan.
Oh, this cover looks like it's a porn cover.
Yeah, it does. It really looks like a porn parody of Roadhouse. Really badly photoshopped and color lit and everything. So it can't be as bad as this. I don't know. Leave Roadhouse alone unless you're gonna
make a movie like Roadhouse,
but not Roadhouse.
Don't make Roadhouse. Right. You won't. You can't. You can't. You don't have the balls, Doug Liman.
That's right.
And neither does Joe Silver. His balls are gone. His balls are. Show me your balls. Show me your 7-year-old balls.
Show me those balls.
I mean, George Miller, he fucking still has balls, and he's like 80.
He's like 80, dude. He's still like, I'm gonna throw you from here to there. No CGI. We're gonna throw you, and it's gonna be. I can't count him out.
That's being ageist. You can still have balls. Come on, dude. You can do it.
They just hang a little bit lower.
Come on, Joel. Be like the Dark Knight. Get out there.
All right, that's a good spot to take a break here. We're gonna play some promos. We're gonna come back and talk about the latest entry in the Predator movie franchise right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey there, everyone. Brian here, host of TV Trivia Pod. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? And what's everyone eating in the post-credit scene of Avengers? Play along to TV Trivia Pod anywhere you get podcasts. And stay tuned for more trivia.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this show, it is a perfect time for you to join our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, and you could be a member of the awesome Patreon community. You can support the show on a monthly or annual basis, and you get things like a bonus podcast feed, an exclusive feed just for our Patreon supporters, where there's bonus content. Shows come out early. We are discussing doing another round of action movies. Anthony, you want to give a little tease to what may be on the Patreon later this month?
Yeah, I think we're going to probably pick out our 90s action movies for the 90s.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them, too.
Oh, yeah.
We got to figure out a number, but I have a number in mind, and we'll pick out some movies pretty soon here.
And then we'll give all the listeners time to catch up and watch all these movies. And then we will decide which is the greatest. There's also Discord benefits. We do monthly hangouts every month, third Thursday of every month, usually on the Discord. If you check our Patreon page, you will see the date and time. And there is a You Pick It tier where you can force us to watch and review any movie you want.
Oh, God.
A lot of fun benefits and things over at our Patreon. Join it today, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to the review. This week, we are reviewing the movie called Prey on Hulu. Here is your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This is a movie that exists in the Predator universe, a prequel, if you will. It is the 5th Predator movie in the franchise of a Predators on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's just strictly a Hulu release, which is interesting. We'll talk about that. Rotten Tomatoes, we got this sitting at 92% tomato meter.
Wow.
7.6 out of 10. Audience rating, 81%. Pretty good scores. I could not find a budget for this. It's not on the Wikipedia page. I did some Googling. If you had to make a guess, what does this look like? I think it looks like, what, like 40, 50 million?
60 maybe.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like 60 to 2. Like, you could probably do this for 40 million and above.
Yes, I would agree. But it doesn't matter because there's no box office return. There's Hulu membership, so we'll see if it helps the Hulu. The movie directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who brought us 10 Cloverfield Lane, and written and also by Dan Trachtenberg with Patrick Ason. Starring Amber Midthunder as our lead female awesome badass Naru, and Dakota Beavers playing her brother Tabe, and Dane DeLiegro, who I believe is 6'9", playing the Predator, and some other people, but that's your main cast there. And an amazing dog named Coco. We're going to talk about the dog. Anthony, what happens in Prey?
Well, this is a prequel to the Predator series where a predator shows up in the early 1700s in North America when the Native Americans are still around, and there are French colonizers, or what do you call them? Colonizers, traders. Yeah, fur trappers walking around. And this seems like this predator is on his first hunt, trying to hunt the toughest prey on Earth. And it's in the midst of that, there is a young girl named Naru, who is amongst men trying to prove herself as a hunter. And she kind of comes across this predator.
Comanche.
And it's a clash
the Comanche people. Did you say Comanche?
Yeah, she's Comanche people. I didn't say that. No, and it's a clash of hunters in this movie.
It's hunter chase film. All right, let's get to it. At the end of the movie, what were you feeling? What'd you think?
I loved it.
Yes,
I thought it was great. Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by the whole thing. I had a couple issues. One being, I think it should have been filmed and shot in Comanche. I know there's the dub, but the dub is unwatchable because of.
But you can't. There's a Comanche version. That's a dubbed.
It's dubbed.
Did you try watching it?
Yeah.
I did. It's dubbed. I can't. It's unwatchable because I grew up watching Godzilla being dubbed, and it.
Prey Comanche dub. I see. Okay.
So I wish it would have been filmed in Comanche. I get why they did it, but it does kind of take you out of it when they're like the French person is speaking English to them. It's like, this is your translate. He speaks English, and it's like, nah, they wouldn't have known English.
See, I don't mind that it's filmed in not filmed in Comanche and not subtitled. I mean, that would have been a really earnest way to go about it. And I would give props to the director to decide to make that bold move. But the thing that I don't like about them doing it in English, which should work, is that there doesn't seem like there's any effort to kind of like shed like modern mannerisms.
Yeah, modern vernacular.
I was gonna say that too. Yep.
Like you can do it if you gotta handle it a certain way to kind of make them go, okay, they're not speaking the language, but I feel like this is authentic. And they were just kind of coming off as like, yeah, we're just hanging out, like blah blah blah.
It was like modern joking around almost was kind
modern
of weird.
Posturing, modern everything. Like, I just feel like
they tried to make it authentic as possible, though. Aside from all of that, I feel
it's just a small nitpick, basically. It's
I agree. I think I that was my main problem with it is that, but I understand why they did it. They're trying to market to a wide audience. I get it. So I got over it by the end, and overall, yeah, I thought it was great. I thought just the little things like her being a girl. I've seen some stuff, like feminist stuff. Like her being a girl plays into why she's able to win.
Right.
Like the Predator has been underestimating her the whole time and not sees her as prey.
Yep.
Sees her as a victim.
Yep.
And because of that, she gets more data on the Predator and realizes like, oh, these are the things I can do to get to this guy. So like you've got like them, you've got her hunting, you've got the Predator, you've got the French people hunting, and there was like a three-way triangle of hunting. It's just what they did really well is they brought this back to its roots. There's not a lot of fluff. It's very apropos that we picked a Predator 2 weeks ago as the movie that won, and we do Prey.
Yeah,
like they just threw it back and they went, we're going to go in a different setting. We're going to do more of a prehistoric version of the Predator. Obviously not prehistoric, but an earlier version of the Predator, earlier people, very simple plot. It's just at the end of the day, it's like Predator, where it's just a mind game between these fucking hunters, and it's awesome.
Hunt chase movie. No, I fucking agree. I really enjoyed this movie. Simple, straightforward hunt movie. That's all you need to do. Doesn't try to do too much. Does it well. Shot beautifully. Amber Midthunder is fucking badass. I fucking love the dog. That was the most expressive dog I've ever seen. Amazing dog acting. I have some information about the dog. But no, seeing just the shots were beautiful. And at times you're like, who's hunting who? It's always flipping on you. It was fucking the final battle was kind of great too. I really loved it. I thought the tension was amazing. The bear scene, there's several scenes that are very good. So overall, yeah, they did a great job. Ruggs, what'd you think?
I think that if you divorce it from Predator and all of the stuff that came before it, it's a way better film. But when you consider it in the context of the other stuff, it does lend a little bit of baggage, just because we've seen all these Predator movies where they've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at the Predator and whatever,
right?
And you have basically this is probably the most inept Predator of all, I guess. I don't know,
but it's 300 years earlier, right? They're not as advanced. He has no armor. He doesn't even have any armor. He's got a skull, which would look cool though. I thought the design was cool.
This is all true. Okay, but and I like in the original Predator, like Arnold sets a trap, but it doesn't work, and then he has to like improvise, and he's just out of luck. The Predator walks under the counterweight, and he's able to use it.
Yeah.
This one, she's got him dead to rights. Like she's already anticipating his every move, and I just feel like, it's a little bit of a letdown that he would just fall into that. But I thought it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I think that, as I said, if you divorce it from everything else that came before it makes it better. But still good in the context. It's like, I think it's either the second or the third, or tied for a second best Predator.
Whoa, save the ranking.
We're not at that point yet. Spoiler alert.
But I just think it was very good.
It's very good, yeah. I will say the only other criticism I have of her getting him is not that she's a girl. It's just that, is this Predator so fucking stupid to not know how his tracking works?
He does not know how his own helmet
works. He's
like,
if I point this at it, I know for a fact
it's going to go where the lasers are.
Yeah.
Where are the lasers? I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. Is like, does he not know how his own fucking technology works? But other than that, I thought it was really well done. I was super pleased to see how it went. I thought it was good. It was one of those things where I liked it so much that I rewatched the action scenes.
Me too. I would.
And I
yes.
enjoyed rewatching the action scenes. And I thought to myself, man, action movies aren't completely dead.
No, like,
I think that this guy should get another movie.
Dan Trachtenberg,
100%.
Trachtenberg, and give him some money. Let's make it really. Like, I think that where the movie kind of starts to like, oh, you realize it's not a big budget movie. It's like some of the CG is questionable in places. So if he could get that right, I mean I think that the wolf CG was actually very good.
Wolf, yeah, it was really
the
good.
wolf.
And then the bear
was a little tough.
The bear was a little bit.
But but that was fucking an amazing shot where the blood from the bear is revealing him to her, and he's holding it up. That was
I
a great
love this
scene.
version of the Predator 2 where he doesn't. It feels like this is the first time a Predator's been on Earth because he's like going up the chain.
Yeah,
He
starts with
kills
the
a
snake,
snake,
right?
then a wolf, then a bear, and then he's like, "Oh, humans
People.
are the ones."
Yes.
Yeah, I just like that, and I like that. Like the scene, even though the bear's CGI is questionable, I like that he takes out the bear with his bare hands.
And that bear was like,
That's cool.
that bear had him for a second too. He's fucking throwing him around, biting
It
him.
was awesome.
Yeah. That was a fucking, I love actually also the humans are actually putting up a fight, right? Her tribes people, the times they actually go man to man, they're able to dodge and fucking attack and give him some devastating blows.
Yeah, I like that you see him like stitching himself up.
Yeah, he's
after.
got to heal himself. He's all fucked up. He's like John Rambo in the fucking forest.
Well, he's stitching himself up as she's like they do a lot of these side by side shots where they're both kind of doing the same thing.
But her, dude, Amber Midthunder, in that scene where she's rescuing the dog and takes down all the fucking fur trappers, I was like, this girl's badass. And they did. I mean, some of it is stunt girl, but it's like a one shot scene where they do something called cowboy switches. She was talking about where she rolls out, stunt double rolls in, right? Then stunt double rolls out. She wanted to do a lot of the stunts herself. And
what's also good though is like those scenes are great, but then there's also like the subtext of like how they treated women. So the Native Americans are like what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You don't belong here. And then even like the French people are like, oh, a girl, we can throw her in the cage. But then there's also like the text of, okay, so you have the Native Americans who hunt, but they take everything, right?
Yeah.
They eat every portion,
use it,
and then you have like another version of honorable hunting, which is the Predator, where he's hunting things that are like apex predators.
Right.
So he's not hunting things that like he can easily kill.
Right.
But then you throw in the Europeans who are literally just like that scene where you see all the buffalo
Yes, I love
skinned,
that.
and it's just like, oh, these guys don't have any honor in how they're hunting. They just hunt because it's fucking fun.
And they want
to make money.
Profit, right? Yeah.
Right.
And like that.
So there's like these three versions of like mindsets around hunting that are revolving around each other too. It's really well
and
done.
it's multiple like antagonists. Like the French traders are also bad guys in a way to two groups. And I love that fake out where you saw the skinned buffalo, and I was like, the fucking Predator do this? Why would he do this? And then they reveal that it's these fucking trappers. It's great.
Yeah, he would never like. So there's these like fucking levels of like honorable hunting. It's such a smartly written movie. It's like. It legitimately surprised me that the people that made this movie gave a fuck about the Predator,
right?
Because it's been years. I mean that Shane Black film is abominable. Like if you watch that movie,
yeah,
it
the
sucks.
last
It's
one
terrible.
they made was really, really bad. But now, like, think of what they can do. So let's tie it in. Let's talk about a couple of the Easter eggs, right? He says the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." That's fucking great. I was like, he said that line. The gun.
Who says that in the first one? Duke or Sonny Landham?
I think Duke says it, right?
I don't remember.
If it bleeds,
I think
we
it might have
can
been
kill
Sonny
it.
Landham.
Oh, maybe it was the other guy. Sounds like an Arnold line.
Yeah.
But you know, where they're used as bait, and she knows he's not going to go for him, and she, you know, her strategy is great. The pistol, the one translator trades for, so she helps his leg, teaches her how to shoot it, comes in a very important moment at the end when she damn near blows his fucking head off. But this is the same gun Danny Glover gets in Predator 2 from the Predator. What's that? Like the head Predator dude, right?
Right. By the way, Schwarzenegger says that.
Oh,
line.
it is
Just
Dutch.
the-
It was Dutch.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, we could kill it. But dude, I just love. It's got the same inscription.
Well, there's also the line where she's hiding and waiting for the Predator to come to her, and she's basically kind of saying what Arnold says. She's like, "Come on."
Yes, it's like, come on, do it.
Come
Yes, come on, do it.
Yeah.
And also,
Do it.
instead of, I love how she figures out that she gives the guy the flower, his body temperature goes down, Predator can't see him, right? Similar to how Arnold somehow figured out mud lowers my body temperature. She eats the plants, and now she's invisible. Fucking brilliant. But what?
Well, she also notices when the mask comes off and he shoots
Yes,
it.
that it follows the
he
fucking...
follows him. It follows where the mask was targeting, and then he tries to shoot it again, and the arrow... I also like that because this is 300 years earlier, that instead of the Predator shooting plasma blasts, it's arrows.
It's actual like
shooting.
physical darts. Yeah, that like they're not as involved. He has a little bit of tech. He does send out those little drone bombs,
right?
But he has just a shield, but he's got no overall armor. Yeah, and I love it. She shoots him in the head, grabs the fucking helmet because she's like, give me that. I also love she used the green as like face paint at the end when she brings all those lines in where he's like, bring it home. And she's like, this is it. There is no more. This is the end. Just like her brother said when he was about to get killed. I like how...
Well, I like that when you... But going back to that line where her brother's like, bring it home.
Yeah.
He's like, this is it for me. But when I rewatch that scene, he's basically going, you have now everything you need to kill this thing.
Yeah.
Like, my death is now the last part of you getting enough data to fucking get this guy.
Yeah.
Like, now it's going to be your... What does he call it? Your katame or something like that?
Katamiya or something. Yeah.
Katamiya, yeah, where you hunt something that's hunting you.
No, but yeah.
The kumite, yeah. Like, the kumite at the end is really fucking good. When they get in that fucking pit, the kumite is really good.
The kumite. There are so many good parts. This is a fucking great movie. The dog...
here we go.
Is first of all, reminded me of Mad Max, right? With the great little Aussie in Mad Max,
right?
The dog's name is Coco. Sorry, and it's not.
No, sorry.
Well, sorry in the movie. The dog's real name is Coco.
Nobody
cares. Here's the thing: this is not a dog actor. This was an adopted dog for this movie, and it's an American dingo, also known as a Carolina dingo, one of the oldest breeds, I believe, on the continent of dogs, and they had a hell of a time getting the dog to do what they wanted because it's not like a trade. They just adopted it for the movie. But I thought the dog was fucking amazing. He had so much personality.
The dog added like another part of it where it's like, oh, I don't want the dog to die.
Right, and several times they fucking...
So there's tension there.
They made me go, don't you fucking kill that dog. Twice, he almost got fucking killed.
Kill all the people you want. Just leave the dog alone.
Don't kill
Let me see you shoot no dogs.
Oh, man. It was... I had a great... I was like... This is how you kind of do a modern movie, but still have all the... It's not even like the 80s tropes. It just like, it nods at everything. But it's not the 80s. It's not an 80s movie at all. It's a modern movie.
Modern movie, and it doesn't... I love... it doesn't need a lot of dialogue. You got to keep it simple.
It just nods. It's like, we get it. Like, this is from the 80s. We understand the roots, but we're doing our own thing here. And it's in the same... It's like of the DNA, but not... It's like a couple generations later.
Still solid, just a solid action movie and making Predator interesting again. Did you guys watch the end credits, which were kind of wonderful little drawings, like tent drawings, right, of the movie? And at the very end, you see 3 more fucking Predator ships drawings come in, right? So I'd be curious. I think what they should do is you follow the gun throughout history. You had them fight the Comanche. You can have them fight like samurais the next time period. You can go to like Vikings, have them go fight Vikings. Maybe follow this gun. How did it get in that Predator's hand in Predator 2 to come back? Like that would be interesting. I do want to see more movies.
That is the way to do it. You take the best warriors like throughout time,
and history,
and then you fuck with those.
Yeah, no, that I think you guys are spot on. I think that is exactly. Or you even like have a little fun with it, and you have the Predator being the one that takes out like Genghis Khan.
Oh shit! Oh,
so it's like, oh, Genghis Khan's reign didn't end because of this. It ended because actually a fucking Predator took it out.
Achilles versus the Predator.
Right.
Oh my god, that would be
awesome.
fantastic. That would be interesting.
What's cool too is this movie isn't at all like it's very like played straight.
Yeah,
it's not like there's not a ton of laughs. It's brisk. It's a little over 90 minutes.
Perfect length.
It's very streamlined. Just we know what we're doing here. This is a hunting movie between numerous hunters. There's subtext if you want to get into that, but if you just want to see some fucking action and be like, I don't know how this girl's going to kill a predator, this is what we're giving you. And they delivered in spades. I think it's fucking awesome.
I love how she's good at the axe and tied a rope to it, and that was a fucking badass weapon. Pull back and throw.
I mean, even his like prehistoric shield, where he's just
Yes.
like cutting people's heads off with it.
Fuck yeah, and it's fucking bloody. It was rated R. Okay, so this is what I wanted to ask. There was a contractual obligations. Now Disney owns this movie. Why it wasn't released in theaters and put on streaming? I believe because before, if they wanted to put it in theaters, then it would have to go to HBO Max, and then it would be they would be sending subscribers to a competing fucking thing.
How do you know that?
I was reading this article, but the way it is now, they can put it. Obviously, they put it on Hulu, which they own. If it was put out in theaters, it is kind of a light August. They just had Bullet Train open to like $30 million opening weekend. Not a lot coming out. Would this movie have done well, or is it the thing going to happen where in the franchise, the last stinky movie makes the next one nobody cares anymore, right? Like there hasn't been a good Predators movie. Would people have even bothered to go knowing that?
I think maybe now people could. Nobody knew that you could make a good Predator movie anymore.
Correct. Until now.
Because they were going about it the wrong way. They were making the same movie over and over again. So I think you have to have enough of a different take that, and not only that, but directed well and written well, which was, that's what takes this movie to the next level, is that it's very well directed. It's beautifully directed, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty stylish. And it seems like, the person who was directing knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
So-
everything makes sense largely, right? There's no like real big holes.
I think it would have done okay, because I think there's now because of Rotten Tomatoes. I think Rotten Tomatoes really influences
That's a good point.
how well movies do in terms of if it's good. Like for instance, Top Gun has amazing Rotten Tomatoes, so like its run has been like lasted so long. Whereas like Thor: Love and Thunder has a decent, okay Rotten Tomatoes, not kind of disappointing, and you see like that movie peters out pretty quick. So I think if people got word that Prey was doing, I'm not saying it would have made $200 million, but against the budget, I think it definitely would have made money.
Dude, Top Gun Maverick.
Not definitely. I wouldn't say definitely, but I think it would have had a shot.
Top Gun Maverick still in theaters. It's still making money. 1.3 billion. It's like seventh biggest domestic of all time.
When something's good, you hear about. I have no interest in seeing Bullet Train, and I've heard numerous people say, "Oh, it's good." Like that, the buzz of it being good, I think helps a lot for a movie theater now.
I was kind of curious about that because that's one of the John Wick guys. There's crazy cameos, and again, it's just like assassins on a train trying to kill Brad Pitt. Like it looks fucking dope.
Right.
But
Simple concept.
I heard a lot of good things about
Ruggs,
that.
would this movie have made money in theaters? Is it better on streaming?
I don't know. I mean,
it's R-rated also, which how much money is that?
I think eventually it would have been a sleeper.
Yeah,
it would have but it wouldn't have been a blockbuster. It wouldn't have been like huge numbers. It would make probably its money back over time. But I don't know.
No, like you said, I couldn't believe they actually.
There's no big name attached.
Yeah, that's the thing. This girl's going to be a star, though. Amber Midthunder.
Really?
I think she can be.
No, I don't think.
No,
I don't know.
Badass. But she's badass.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Means she'll get more badass roles. I don't know.
Yeah, she was good. I don't know. I can't really predict what her future is.
Yeah,
I thought she was completely fine in the role.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, look, let's rate the movie and rank it amongst the Predators. If you can remember the other ones, I remember some of them.
I remember all of them.
Oh, okay, Anthony. Well, let's start with you.
I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Okay,
I would have
solid.
had this been a 9 or 10 if it was in Comanche.
Oh man,
it really irks me that it's in English, not because of being woke, but just because of the time period.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. It's the second best Predator movie behind Predator. The third best Predator movie is a tie between Predators and Predator 2 for me.
Is that the one with Adrian Brody?
Yeah, that one with Adrian Brody's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, okay.
And then the Predators last, and then the AVP stuff is like its own weird thing that
garbage.
I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Okay, that's solid. Yeah, no, I was gonna give it 8.5 actually.
There you go.
And again, yes, second best Predator movie after the original. And then I would put Predator 2 and then the Adrian Brody movie.
All right.
Is that how I go? Ruggs, what about you?
I'm kind of on the same page as all of you. An 8 out of 10, and I think it's tied for the second best. I think that it's right just as good as Predator 2.
Oh, you like Predator 2 that much? Huh?
Well, I think that it was a good sequel. I just think that they didn't have Arnold in it, so that's what the big letdown was.
I need to rewatch that one too.
I think it was memorable. It was a memorable film. It was in the city. It was kind of a different take.
Yeah, you had Murtaugh and Gary Busey. Or,
yeah, Gary Busey what kills the movie for me. You know, it's like he's Gary Busey.
He's great.
Yeah, but he's not Arnold.
No,
that's
he's not
the point.
Arnold,
You want Arnold. You know, but that's what you really want. But he's not there.
Yeah, I was very impressed, and
the fucking design of the Predator is great too. This guy is great.
I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised by a movie for once.
Yeah, we didn't get into that. Did you like the way the Predator looks?
No,
why?
The face, the classic Predator face is legit. Like this was like a little bit goofy looking, but when you're talking about it fully masked up and everything, he looks awesome. I don't know why the dreadlocks are so skinny though. That was like
fatter dreadlocks.
I agree with you, Ruggs. I don't know why they needed to change the face, but the mask by itself makes a ton of sense. I don't know why his face would look different though.
Yeah, they kind of like made it look more goofy.
So
like not as terrifying.
What if it's just like another race of the same thing?
Well, no, I mean you've seen the
Yaujta or Yaujta.
Yeah, that they were like. They somehow are now like joined into the Alien universe.
Oh, with the xenomorphs.
Yeah, with the xenomorphs and the engineers and all that stuff. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of offshoot.
Have we seen a Predator wear a xenomorph helmet head on his head? I want to see that. I'm sure that's
there's a Predalien, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, is there a Predalien?
Yeah, there is. In Alien vs. Predator Requiem, there's a Predalien.
Oh, that's right. Hybrid. No, I love the skull. Fucking Georgia O'Keeffe painting skull look. It's great. Only art school snobs are going to get that one. Yeah. Oh, I thought he
looks
cool.
like a vagina.
Yeah. Why does that skull look like a vagina?
It looks like a stamen.
All right. Let's find out what our listeners thought from the news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Jesse Rodriguez says best entry since the original. Overall, it was really well done, minus some cringy dialogue and the Predator not understanding his own weapon. Thought it was a good watch. Jess Rivera, was anyone else pissed the elder Predators did not come down and present her with a reward? I was also hoping the reward might be pyramids for the tribe. That's how Danny Glover gets the gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy who wins the hunt, she should get something. Maybe they're coming to give her trophy.
Yeah, they give him the gun because, he beat a Predator.
Joe Henry says, I'm kind of bummed this didn't get a theatrical release. Best Predator movie since the first two. Daryl K. also, second best Predator movie ever. Sean Hadley says, I don't know what else people wanted from a Predator film, but I thought this was the movie I had personally wanted since Predator 2. Tease the possibility of past battles. It's not a super difficult formula. It took Hollywood almost 30 years to realize it. Put a Predator in a time period with a badass opponent. Wash, rinse, repeat. We don't need all the bullshit the Predator was trying to do. Dude, imagine him going and fighting samurais and then like pirates and just coming in different times. How badass?
Like knights and stuff.
Yes, knights. Oh my god!
Like who are you could just do a list of the greatest warriors of all time, and then
it writes itself.
I want to see this. It's fucking badass. Rick Martinez says, "I fucking loved it.
I fucking loved it."
Everyone I know that's seen it are all giving it the thumbs up. I gotta say, there were many times I thought Amber Midthunder was Summer Glau. She did remind me of Summer Glau. I couldn't think of the person until he had this comment.
Oh, Summer Glau.
I had Ernie Reyes Jr.
She looked like Ernie Reyes. What the fuck?
Oh shit!
She did
Why is that so funny?
That's fucking funny.
The kid from Sidekicks TV show.
I always owe him from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Surf Ninja. Right.
Oh, and Surf Ninja. That was
I just watched Red Sonja when he was like the little kid in Red Sonja, the young king. You ever remember that? He's ordering around that big fat, ward.
Yeah. What is Ernie Reyes Jr. been up to? But so you thought you looked like a little boy.
All right.
Okay. Sure.
Just a little bit. I'm not saying that you look like a boy. I just said you look like Ernie Reyes. Like just the same.
Ernie Reyes kind of looks a little feminine, yeah.
He's 50 years old right now.
Wow.
That's right.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
He's now Ernie Reyes Sr.
Oh, he was on Superstore for a couple episodes. Just like Data from Goonies is in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Right.
It's a comeback. All right, let's finish up with what are we watching? Anybody see anything interesting, Anthony?
No.
Oh, I have.
Okay, Anthony has.
I'm on my 90s research. So this past week, I watched 2 movies I've never seen.
90s
I have
action
never
movies.
seen. Excuse me. These were for the first time.
Yeah.
Point Break.
Yeah.
And Con Air.
Wow.
And I thoroughly enjoyed both.
Oh, Point Break, dude.
They're both good ones, yeah.
Swayze,
great
Keanu.
movies. Point Break, I mean, it's just uncanny how much Fast and Furious copied Point Break.
Yeah, that was the original.
Fast and Furious is almost like making Point Break live on because there's that shitty Point Break remake. But, Point Break, just a fucking bromance movie.
Yeah.
Keanu is just, he really still can't act. Like, anytime he does anything emotional, it's just so cringe.
Yeah.
But he can play a surfer dude any day.
Oh, it's a perfect role for him, right?
Yeah, and then you just throw in Swayze, who's just adios amigo and jumping out of a plane. Like, really well done.
Charismatic, yeah.
And
West
Catherine
Coast.
Bigelow like adds a little bit of style to that movie that makes levels it up more than it should be. And then Con Air is just a masterpiece. It should be like forever ingrained. That is an amazing fucking film.
I haven't watched that in a minute.
I haven't watched that in a while.
It is so stupid yet so good. It's the cast alone, the people that you get freaking Nicolas Cage coming off an Oscar win, doing a Southern accent. You got John Malkovich, you got Ving Rhames, you got John Cusack, who refuses to even acknowledge he was in that movie.
Oh, shit, that's right.
You got Steve Buscemi, you got Dave Chappelle is in the movie.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
That's right.
Holy shit, young Dave Chappelle.
And you get an Oscar-nominated song, How Could I Breathe Without You?
How could I live?
Oh, How Could I Live Without You? Yeah, that I didn't even know that fucking song was because of that movie. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's from that movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch this.
It's an amazing movie.
I can't wait to do the 90s one because it's going to be harder than the 80s Irish movie, and I can't wait to rewatch a lot
the
of
90s,
these.
what's fun about the 90s ones is they started getting real actors in here. So they still had stupid premises.
Yeah.
But they just had real actors leveling it up a little bit. They're like, oh, we're just going to throw in all these awesome actors in this terrible plot.
And they
that
get a
makes
little
no
bit.
sense.
Sometimes they get smarter, but
Like
sometimes
Armageddon did the same thing.
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
Yeah. Throw all these people
Rock.
together. Yeah.
You just go down with Face Off. You're just throwing great actors in movies that they should never be in. But they're just having fun.
They're trying to make a Face Off reboot too. Also, but I don't know if it's going to be with any of the originals. I don't know if you should touch that one either. Make something else.
Nicolas Cage's hair is it's an amazing.
It's
wig.
glorious.
It's an
its
amazing
own.
wig.
Yeah.
It's its own character.
And Nicolas Cage, the fucking he gets jacked. Watch the movie. He's huge in the movie.
Wow.
And him just you should have put the bunny in the basket. He's Forrest Gump doing he's playing Forrest Gump doing an action hero. I had so much fun with both of those movies, but Con
I can't
Air,
believe you've never seen that. So
I've never seen Con Air.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
Jealous. Yeah, it's great.
It's so and there's a fucking prisoner that's a woman, but he's a guy, and it's just it aged horribly then, and you got Danny Trejo.
Oh fuck, Danny Trejo.
He's called Johnny 23 because he has 23 rape victims tattooed on his arm.
Oh my God!
And his whole thing in the movie, he just wants to rape the cop, and it's just this is a terrible decision even back then. Why is this? This is uncomfortable.
Well, he's a criminal.
Now.
He's a criminal.
I know, but it's just
nice guy.
it's just it turns into a different movie every time he's on screen. It's is he really gonna rape that girl? And then you have Steve Buscemi, who they tease him killing a little kid. It's like what the fuck is going on in this movie? It's so good. You get Forrest Gump's. You get the fucking guy that was Bubba.
Luke. Yeah.
He's in that.
He's in it too. Yeah, he's Nicolas Cage's sidekick.
I did. See, fuck. I gotta watch this again. I don't remember. I can't remember a lot of this.
Con Air.
We saw it in the theater. In 1990.
I can't imagine seeing that in the theater back then. I would have thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, but there were so many of those.
Yes, there were.
It was like Armageddon was like a couple of weeks before or after it. I can't even remember.
That's when crazy shit was
This is when Nicolas Cage did what I mentioned earlier. He wins an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then releases in order The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off.
Of course,
it's
because why not?
It'd be like getting
his best films.
Yeah, it'd be like 3 seminal films, and it'd be like getting freaking Daniel Day-Lewis wins an Oscar, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do 3 action movies. Now. Like what? What kind of
now is my time.
Yeah.
But look, he did a movie with John Woo.
Yeah.
You know, John Woo was like a big fucking director.
Sean Connery he gets for one of them.
Well, Michael Bay is The Rock.
Michael Bay directing, and then crazy ass Con Air.
Con Air is with
Simon West or something, right?
Yeah, Simon West, who
He did Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider.
All those movies are definitely going to be in this *90s tournament.
I was crying laughing at some of the unintentional comedy is so fucking funny. Point Break's great too. Point Break is also at times very silly.
There is a new documentary about Woodstock 99 on Netflix, 3 episodes called Trainwreck. And let me tell you, I'll watch 10 documentaries about Woodstock 99. I don't care. What a fucking story. What a shit show. What a great documentary. This one really highlighting the piece of shit promoters just trying to make a buck and not giving a shit about the kids.
I love Woodstock 99.
Oh my God. That just...
How long is the doc?
It's all Fred Durst's fault.
Partly and Corn. It's 3 episodes of like 40, 50-minute episodes.
I might throw it on.
You definitely have to watch it. It is compelling, and it breaks it down day 1, day 2, day 3. And holy shit. I mean, and it's one of the original promoters from the original Woodstock 69, which didn't really go as smooth as everyone thinks it did. Also, you just hear about it a lot.
Yeah, well, because 99 just...
Yeah.
I remember one quick thing about 99. That's when I was watching MTV. And I remember watching MTV that weekend and seeing all the shit go down. Like seeing it being televised and be like, oh my God.
Yes. And then at one point,
Mom, can I go to that?
Can we go there? One point, John Norris is like, we have to leave now. Things are getting crazy. I mean, the decision to hand out 100,000 candles for a candlelight vigil on day 3 when these kids were dehydrated, high as balls, haven't been sleeping because there's a 24-hour rave going on over there.
And they can't shit anywhere.
They're drinking shit water. They're on
asphalt, aren't they?
It's on asphalt. Yep.
Yes,
yep.
And they're like, they took away your water coming in. Everything's expensive, and they're like, give them 100,000 candles. What could go wrong? And you know what? They deserve for the shit to get burned down like it did.
Give me some break.
Oh, my God. Anyways, that's great. I started watching The Sandman. I watched the first 5 episodes.
How was Adam Sandler? Was he good?
No, that's a different Sandman. That's from the DC Neil Gaiman's The Sandman about Dream of the Endless, Morpheus. This is great. If you love the comic book, I think you're going to like it. It's like a faithful adaptation, but they've changed a number of things to make it work on TV better for a TV format. Great mood. I'm really digging it. There's one episode called 24/7 that happens in a diner. That was a great episode. Very unnerving. But so far, so good. It's 10 episodes, so I can't wait.
I've heard people love it and people don't like it.
I haven't met Death yet. That's the next episode, and I'm dying to see. I love the character of Death in the Sandman universe. No, I'm digging it. I think they did a really good job. I also started watching Paper Girls, the first 3 episodes. That show is fun, too. They don't waste any time getting into it in the first episode, putting these Paper Girls in a crazy...
I was going to watch that, but there's so many things.
There's too many things, so I haven't been able to get back to the Paper Girls because I was enjoying that. Now I'm like, I got to watch the rest of Sandman because this is fucking good. So there's just too many things out. Too many things. Good luck trying to watch everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, that's it.
Give me something to break.
That was...
Show me your tits.
Fred, listen, what's her name? Is up there. Sheryl Crow is up there, and the dudes are yelling, "Show me your tits!" And she's like, "Oh, I see."
You're supposed to do that. That was in the 90s. If a girl walked on stage, that's the first thing you're supposed to say.
And, dude, that documentary doesn't hold back. It shows you all the tits. It's kind of crazy. There's a lot of boobies in this documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back at that lineup, I mean, that's an insane line up.
What
to go
doesn't
to
make
a
sense
festival.
though? There's rage music with Lilith Fair music interspersed. What is the audience? What audience are you serving here? You
I
clearly
mean, that's normal now, though. That
is it?
That's exactly how festivals are set up now. That what Woodstock did with rage music, with hip hop, with Sheryl Crow is exactly how Lollapalooza and Coach, like, they all took cues off of that. They took the good cues.
That's true.
And learned from that. But that's how all festivals are now, where it's just a wide range of artists.
I mean, that is true, but like, a Korn and a Limp Bizkit attracts a certain fan, and a Jewel and
well, they weren't at the same stage. There's two stages. There's three stages.
There was
actually.
multiple stages.
Yeah.
And then just like the 24-hour rave, was that necessary? Let the kids sleep. No. Oh,
they didn't know what they were doing.
What if you're, you're on Molly, you're rolling.
I don't even know what the kids were doing then.
They were fucking. There's a lot of weed
They were
there.
definitely doing Molly.
There's probably acid. They were high as fuck. There's mushrooms. One dude said
ketamine.
They have interviews with people who are there. It's really funny. It's a great documentary. And you're like, holy fuck! How could you think this was gonna be a good idea? Anyways, that's it for the show. We're still talking about Woodstock 99. I will always talk about Woodstock 99. Fantastic. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Go over there, tweet at him.
Tweet me.
Poke him in the tweets.
At me.
Yes. You can check out all his information in our show notes and ways to subscribe and support the show. Share the show.
Ampersand me.
Ampersand him. Semicolon him. That's the thing.
Yes.
I don't know. Colon.
$sign.
In his colon. Share the show is the most important thing you could do. Word of mouth helps spread the podcast. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Sweaty nuts. Sweaty nuts. I really don't give a shit.